You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
Welcome to From Beneath the Hollywood Sign. If you love old movies, Hollywood history, or the golden age of filmmaking, you've come to the right place. This is the podcast that talks about amazing stories of Tinseltown from another era and fascinating conversations with writer-producer Steve Cubine and actress-writer Nan McNamara.
So, Steve, did Ava Gardner and Howard Hughes have a good relationship?
Well, they did until he dislocated her jaw.
What?
Well, don't worry. She hit him back with an ashtray.
From Beneath the Hollywood Sign is the gin joint for you.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neal, and Jeff. This is Triviality. The cream of the crop!
Hello and welcome to our 1-year anniversary episode, a very special episode. We're going to be doing all listener-submitted questions. So thank you so much to all of those listeners out there who actually sent in questions, and a few of them who recorded them, so you're going to get to hear your own voices. That's going to be pretty nice.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah, I think what's the gift for first year anniversary? Wood?
I think so. You gave me some wood. I don't know if it's the right. Oh wait, hold on. We have a guest in the studio. You said it was paper.
Yeah, I think the traditional one is paper.
Paper. Okay, so
we messed up a little bit.
We messed up. It's a form of wood.
Yeah.
So it's what would that be like?
Softwood.
The softwood.
It's important to recycle.
It's basically wood excrement. So
that's what that is?
I guess so.
It's an entire year of a lack of seriousness has really started to get on me for a little bit.
The little bit of knowledge has stayed consistent, but the lack of seriousness has gone up considerably.
Exponentially at a factor of 52 at this point, I would imagine.
Well, here's a little bit of seriousness. I think you have some people to thank.
Absolutely, we do. So we have some new patrons since the last time we updated. So I'm just going to run back the list here. Speaking of the list, complete the list. Andy Saunders is a new patron for us. Peter Wen, Joshua Head, and Jonathan Robbins. So thank you so much to all of you who are now supporting the show. Hopefully you're wearing your belts proudly. Mm-hmm. And we also have a little something special that Matt will be doing at the swing round. So we pulled names from the 50 iTunes reviews that we got. So we're going to let you know who's won and how you can claim your prize.
Great. Yeah, that should be pretty exciting. I know we haven't said what the prizes are yet, but it'll be pretty.
We do know what they are at this point.
Well, we do now.
We do know what they are.
I don't. I was left out of that conversation.
And they are things that nobody else has.
It's in the mystery box.
Yet. Oh, no one else has yet. Okay, no. So there's a clue.
Mysteries.
Sherlock Holmes on the case.
Hey, who else is in the studio with us, Jeff?
So joining us, a special guest host, so that we didn't cheat and know some of the answers to the questions, is a friend of the show and our personal trivia host, Jason Borsom. How you doing, Jason?
I'm doing all right, guys. How you doing today?
Welcome back. It's been a little bit.
It's been about a year. Yeah.
I like you to introduce him as our personal friend. No, he's
our
trivia host.
He's our personal trivia host.
He's on retainer.
He's our personal masseuse. It's been a weird year.
Jason, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what company you own and run?
Yeah, sure. For the last 15 years or so, I have owned and operated a mobile entertainment business in the greater Chicago area named Liquid Kourage Entertainment. Started it back in 2003, providing karaoke and DJ services. Broke into pub trivia around 2010. So we've been going pretty strong there for about 8 years now.
Wow. So you started this business when you were 10?
Yeah, well, I have a baby face. You have to remember that.
All right, without further ado, let's kick it over to the announcer guy for the rules.
The rules of the game are simple. 20 questions split into 2 rounds worth 10 points apiece. At halftime, there'll be a special swing round designed by this week's host. After regulation, players will enter the final round with the points that they've accumulated and will have a chance to wager 0 to 30 points on 5 categorized questions. At the end of the game, someone will be named the cream of the crop.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
So again, all these questions today were submitted by our listeners for our anniversary episode. So without further ado, Jason, you want to take it away?
All right. First and foremost, I do want to thank all the listeners who brought in questions either through voicemails or emails. I had a lot of fun over the last few days kind of pulling through those. Second of all, you guys are brutal in your ability to stump our friends in the studio here. So I may have made some edits, may have made some slight alterations to give them, we'll call it a fighting chance on some of these. So if I ruined your baby, I do apologize, but hopefully the end result is better than it may have been otherwise. Third and finally, we're going to run this game in a 2v2 format. We've got Neal and Jeff facing off against Ken and Matt.
I believe this is the grudge match part 3.
Yes. We're looking for that elusive first victory. But,
This one's for all the marbles, though. So.
I think this one should count as at least 4 because it's from the listeners.
Ooh.
So if we win, I think that's kind of
We're going to have to keep pairing up like this for a while then.
Yeah, fair enough.
Drew.
Best of 100. Go.
There you go.
That's a really high bar.
All right, so gentlemen, are we ready?
Yeah,
Let's do
go.
it.
I'm excited.
And away we go with question 1. This was submitted by listener Lee Poirier in Houston, Texas.
Thanks, Lee.
Thank you.
Lee asked, what is the full name of the first movie to be released in which the character Boba Fett's name is spoken aloud?
So Matt wrote down an answer on this one, and I actually had the same idea, so we are locked in.
Okay. So I do think it's Star Wars. Neal thought maybe it's not a Star Wars film.
I don't think it is a Star Wars movie.
I know it's not the original trilogy, though.
Oh. Never mind. Continue.
Well, no. So in the movie, they always call him like bounty hunter,
Right.
or he just gets directed like, go do this. I have like a really, God, this would be like the trickiest question of all. And I'm wondering it's because they know they listen to the show. But in E.T., Elliot talks to E.T. and he goes, look at my figures. Here's Darth Vader. Here's Boba Fett. Here, and he goes, Boba. Here goes Boba Fett and Yoda. And I don't know if that counts.
It might be. It is the first movie.
I mean, that's 1982.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact it's not in the original Star Wars. I know it's not for a fact in...
I'm pretty sure it's mentioned in the first, second, third, the second trilogy, so to speak.
Okay.
Which would be way later than 82. So E.T. sounds like a good answer to me.
We'll go E.T.
All right, so you guys are locked in with E.T.?
Yeah.
All right. Ken, what do you guys say?
So Matt and I were both thinking Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Upon further examination and hearing these guys discuss, we were maybe thinking it was the Christmas special, right? Is that what you were thinking?
Yeah, and then I was also thinking possibly, even if it was later, I know they talk about it in Clerks, and I thought that could have been possibly an answer.
Well, we got to stick with our
so.
locked in, which is Episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones, okay.
Christmas special's good too. I don't know if that would be considered a TV movie, but that's a good answer.
Yeah, this one genuinely surprised me when Lee sent it in, and I double-checked it through YouTube, and I believe he's right. Lee says that you are correct, Neal. E.T., the extraterrestrial, is the first time on film where Boba Fett's name was spoken aloud.
I think that was slanted towards Neal being a Spielberg
That's
movie,
the only reason I even thought of that, because I was thinking of saying the Christmas special, but that's a TV movie. It's not a movie. But, I mean, I guess it is.
Good pull.
Yeah,
wow.
So points out the gate early.
Good thing that I just happened to be
Neal and
watching
Jeff.
E.T. randomly last week and was talking to someone about it.
It's not random. That's part of your
I know. That's all I watch,
your
yeah.
schedule.
Neal gets up at 4:30 every morning so he can watch E.T. to start his day.
Question 2, and this one comes from Lee DeGeorge, who is, of course, the host of the Something Something Birds podcast.
Getting both Lees out of the way early.
Yep.
Oh, this won't be the last time you hear from anybody named Lee.
I have
today.
a feeling Lee sent in a few. So.
Thank you,
sure
Lee.
did.
Thank you.
And for his first effort, Lee asks, sativa, indica, and hybrid are 3 main categories of what commodity?
We're in.
Sounds right.
No,
yeah.
it's right. We're in.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, we're in.
Not spelled right, but sure.
Yeah, we're in.
Oh, that was quick, guys, and that may be telling. So we'll start with Matt here.
One of my favorite battle rappers of the 90s, Cannabis.
I don't have other joke than that. Cannabis.
Yeah, it is indeed cannabis or marijuana. Congratulations, 10 points to both of you.
It's surprising that you asked that question through the haze of smoke that's in the studio right now.
Times they are a changing.
Yeah, that's right.
There was a time when we wouldn't be able to say this on the podcast.
Yeah.
That's true.
We'd have to bleep cannabis.
We'd have to
fair
go.
enough.
We'd have to broadcast only to Denver.
Actually, a little disappointed you guys didn't need the hint on that because I wrote a beautiful one. It's a commodity whose popularity might be at an all-time high.
Oh,
we got jokes, people.
Well done.
All right, question 3. This comes from Richard Flagel.
What's up, Rich?
There are over 2,600 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Richard wants to know who is said to be the first celebrity to get a star.
I really don't know on this one. I think I heard this recently, but I can't really pull it. Do you just want to go with like Charlie Chaplin or something?
That's an old name that I could think of.
All right, let's do that.
It's funny you guys mentioned Charlie Chaplin. His grandson actually sued the Hollywood Walk of Fame committee because he wasn't in the first 8 that they wanted to give stars to.
So we're wrong. Thank you.
No, sorry, I know. I'm just so interesting
Very rude.
factoid.
Continue.
So as I said a long time ago, I love old Hollywood. So there were 8 original nominees, one including Burt Lancaster, actor. It's said to be Joanne Woodward, who was married to Paul Newman. She won an Oscar for Three Faces of Eve. They say that she's the first. And then also Stanley Kramer was the one who was actually laid down first, but I believe it's Joanne Woodward if you want to go with that, Jeff.
Sounds good. We'll lock in with Joanne Woodward.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got Chaplin and Woodward. According to Richard, it is said to be Joanne Woodward. So nice job to you guys, Neal and Jeff.
Yeah, a lot of Hollywood lore in that story.
How many stars do there have to be before we get ours? Is what I want to know.
Actually, and here's another little factoid for you, Matt. All you need to do is get nominated, so Jason can nominate us, and we got to pay $40,000, and we'll have our star on it.
That's
on
it?
the Walk of Fame. That's it. Yeah.
But you do have to be in one of the 5 categories.
Stretch goal.
Stretch goal, $40,000, Hollywood Walk of Fame.
That's quite a bit of a stretch goal, but okay.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they have a category for radio. So
Yeah, they do.
All right, guys. Question 4. This comes interestingly from 2 listeners. Maddie Chandler submitted this, and Brian Israel from Hastings, Nebraska, sent us an audio question, and they were eerily similar.
Saying he's the same guy? Is that what this is?
No, they both submitted essentially the same question, different wording. So I kind of took from both of them, combined it. And Maddie and Brian both ask, according to the New England Journal of Medicine, what animal, commonly seen as roadkill, is responsible for the most outbreaks of leprosy in the United States?
Well, look, I wrote down some animals here. I'm not really sure, but you should go with your gut because you're the one with leprosy.
Yep. Jeff or the leper. That's what we call
That's
him.
why we never show Jeff on any pictures, and he always hides.
So you guys are locked in?
We are locked in.
So I think the first thing on the top of our heads was possum, but I think that's kind of like a misconception that they're disease-ridden. I think they're actually pretty immune to most diseases.
They're really popular on the internet right now, too.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't be if they had leprosy.
I kind of liked armadillo, which you wrote down, because it's kind of an outside choice, kind of a weird fact.
Yeah.
And I think they're pretty popular roadkill, and also maybe raccoon.
Yeah, I mean, if it was raccoon, I think that leprosy would be more common, to be honest, because there's raccoons.
You want to go with
everywhere.
armadillo?
Yeah, I feel
they
like...
seem like you don't ever hear about it too much, so maybe it's a little bit rarer, and I'm sure leprosy is kind of rare these days. So
I would hope so.
Let's go with armadillo as an outside choice.
Lock it in with armadillo.
Oh, I'm going with the esoterica there.
So what are you going with?
Well, we had armadillo on our list of potentials. In fact, there was a lot of overlap between the two. But we went with at least a common one around here, deer.
Well, I can tell you one of you is right.
Oh,
it's armadillo.
It sure is armadillo.
Yeah.
There are 2 mammals in the world who carry the bacteria for leprosy or Hansen's disease, humans and armadillos.
Interesting.
That's weird.
All right, and we move on to question 5, which, not surprisingly, is a listener-submitted question this week.
How strange.
This one comes from David Cruz, and David asks, everyone knows who Mr. Peanut is, but that character has a real full name given to him by his designer. His name contains a cartoon character's name, a presidential first name, a presidential middle name, and a hockey trophy name. All you need to do is give me any one of the 4 words that make up his full name.
Do we only give one answer, or do we give...
You know what? Take a stab at all 4, guys.
Okay. Nah. We could give one. I mean...
With apologies to David, I'm feeling very generous in scoring this today.
That does sound right, though.
This sounds like a middle name that a peanut would have.
Kind of want to go with Roman J. Israel Esquire.
We're locked in, yeah.
Okay, so we wrote a bunch of junk. As far as hockey trophy, I think that Stanley is too easy. The other one I know offhand is the Hart Trophy, and I don't think that would be a name. And there's the Vezina, which is the goalie trophy, but I don't think that's it either. So I don't know what else it could be.
The Smythe?
Yeah.
Smythe. Let's go with Smythe.
Smythe for that. Okay, so we're locked in with Smythe, and then what are other ones? Want to do Garfield?
Garfield, Cleveland, and Arthur.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Okay, we went with Lord, Millard, Quincy, and Stanley.
It's quite the noble name for both of you. You guys collectively had 8 shots, and 0. One of you got one of them right. The Conn Smythe Trophy from Ken for the win there. Because according to creator Antonio Gentile, Mr. Peanut's full name originally was Bartholomew Richard Fitzgerald Smythe.
Oh.
All right, question 6, and this is another one from Lee to George from the Something Something Birds podcast. This time around, Lee asks, how many Jeopardy clues are revealed typically before the first commercial break of the episode?
Of course he would ask a Jeopardy question. Also, check out Lee on Jeopardy. I think this summer his episode's airing.
Yeah, it's coming out soon. I could see Lee going out to a bar, taking Trebek, and they both are like there till 3 a.m, drinking shots of like, Labatt Blue or something. So maybe we should look at the commercial breaks,
right,
as a way.
So I guess they probably break up each round, and if I'm not mistaken, a Jeopardy board 6 categories, 5 questions each, so 30, and they don't always get through them. So I'm guessing it would tend to trend down just a little bit.
So a little less than half.
Yeah, a little less than half. So I don't know, maybe 13.
All right, I'm fine with that because I don't know. Let's lock in with that.
I think they get through the whole first round before a commercial break.
Yeah, we also thought the first round, I thought it was 5 by 5. I thought there was only 25 questions.
So we're going 25.
So we said 25.
Okay, so 25 and then 13. I think, unfortunately, Jeff, you overthought it a little bit on this. The correct answer is 15.
Okay.
Ooh, I wrote 15 down too.
They do get through the first round most of the time, I guess.
All right, question 7, guys. This one comes from Max Miners, who, as a caveat, wanted to say that it was a completely self-researched question. And while he's confident enough to ask it, he is not 100% sure that it is the only answer that's acceptable. So,
fair.
With that being said, Max asks, who is the only person to have both won an Academy Award and been murdered on screen by Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, or Freddy Krueger?
I'm just writing down the people I know that were either nominated for an Oscar or well-known actors, because there's a lot of well-known actors in these old movies. Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre is not included in there, but in the Next Generation one, they have Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger, although I don't think they're killed by Leatherface.
You said Jason,
Freddy, or Michael Myers. Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Mike Myers is coming. Could you imagine Daniel Day-Lewis in Halloween?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we got it. Nice, Jeff. Thank you for the save there.
Run for your lives.
Surprisingly, if we're right, Jeff got a film question partly.
I think Jeff got it because I couldn't think of the name.
Yeah.
So
you're locked in?
We're locked in.
All right. So I initially wrote down Johnny Depp, and then that was all I had, and then I gave up. So
let's just go with it because I really don't know.
Perfect. Johnny Depp.
Or Daniel Day-Lewis. Run away.
Yeah, he actually performed.
He's coming.
He performed as Jason Voorhees, but they just cut all of his dialogue out because it was too esoteric.
And he's spoken too high of a voice.
Right. Welcome to Camp Crystal Lake.
I mean, surprisingly, we too had Johnny Depp on our list. Neal says he's never won an Academy Award, though.
Yeah, he's been nominated. He's never won. And then Kevin Bacon, who was killed in the first Friday the 13th, has never been nominated.
Which, that's a shocker.
And then Patricia Arquette won for Boyhood, but she does not die in Freddy 3. Heather Langenkamp
we
does.
went with Octavia Spencer.
Really? Okay.
All right, nicely done, Jeff. Octavia Spencer is correct, who died in 2009's Halloween 2, and according to Max, the terrible Rob Zombie reboot of Halloween. Max wanted you to know, by the way, Neal, that you almost fell for the trap answer, which is Patricia Arquette. It's the answer when I independently researched this myself to confirm it's the answer I fell into, because you're right, she does play a character in A Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
It's Kristen.
And Kristen dies in A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, but the role was recast between films.
Ooh, I didn't remember that. I just knew she didn't die in 3.
Yeah, Patricia Arquette's character died, but it wasn't Patricia Arquette portraying her when it happened.
That's the one where you have the Freddy snake with the mouth that starts eating her.
1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
All right, guys, question 8 this time around comes from a listener named Jason Borsom. I hear he's a swell fellow.
Sounds handsome.
Sounds like he has a baby face.
Yeah.
Looks like he has a face for radio. So, all right. If Ken were sunning himself on a sandy beach in Bora Bora wearing nothing but a Speedo and a smile, and he wanted to order a fruity tropical drink with a fancy umbrella as he is accustomed to, what language would he use, considering the nation that Bora Bora belongs to?
There's a lot to unpack in this question.
I wrote it. I know the answer.
Including the visual image.
Where's Bora Bora located?
You're right.
I don't know if there's a lot to
unpack.
I don't know if there's a lot to unpack there, but
you focus as long or as short as you want on that visual.
Okay, we are going to lock in with a guess on this one.
Okay, so to help Jeff out, I'm not the geography guy. I just wrote down random languages. So I wrote down Portuguese, French, Spanish, and English. I know
You couldn't do the other two?
Francais,
Espanol.
So I don't know why I put any of these languages, but I know like Côte d'Azur, or doesn't one of the Caribbean islands speak English or French as like its national language?
A lot
or
of
something?
them do, yeah. Haiti speaks French. There's a couple, Jamaica is an English speaking. There's a couple Spanish speaking.
So you're the guy.
Bora Bora, I'm pretty sure, is in the Pacific.
Okay, I don't know what that means.
I feel like it's maybe French Polynesia, or it could even be an English-speaking country, honestly.
Well, I'm going to give it to you. So those are my 4, and you pick from there.
Sure. Let's go French.
We also went French.
Parlez-vous, gentlemen. You're both right.
All
It is
right.
French, as Bora Bora is part of French Polynesia. And while English and Tahitian are the most commonly spoken languages on the island, as an administrative region of France, the official language is French. So nice job.
Good thing you did that. I would have gone English, just thinking it was a trick question from Jason. So
No, the Ken in a Speedo was the trick.
Ooh.
Try to throw you off.
Yeah. Ken's actually in a Speedo because the studio is so hot right now.
Yeah, it is
So
boiling.
thank you for seating me next to him, by the way.
Tangerine Speedo, in fact.
Yeah.
All right, question 9. This comes from Jesse Henkel. And Jesse asks, what fictional metal are Marvel's Wolverine's claws made from?
Locked in.
Got it?
Yeah, I don't remember, but I know you know, so.
Okay.
Oh, I do maybe know, so we're locked in.
I just wanted, you locked in. I just wanted to confirm that you weren't going Captain America's shield, but that's fine.
No,
All right.
because actually, funny enough, I shamed a coworker the other day who says he's a comic book fan with this exact difference.
Oh, okay.
Because he said that Wolverine's claws were made of vibranium, Captain America's shield, and I said, adamantium, you fool.
Yeah.
Adamantium.
Yeah, it is indeed adamantium. So nice job to both of you. Although, if we're being pedantic about this, Wolverine's claws are
It's
actually
an
made
alloy
of
of-
bone.
Yes. I know in the origin stories it's bone claws, but I think there are later adamantium instances,
His
correct?
skeleton is,
Possibly, but yeah, it's
coated in adamantium.
fused technically with adamantium. So yeah, adamantium, but
An alloy.
Bone claws is ready.
All right, and to finish up round 1, question 10 comes from Maddie Chandler again. And Maddie asks, what actor, known for his dramatic roles, was featured in a fake commercial on SNL as a spokesman for Old Glory Insurance, which is a life insurance company that provides coverage against the leading killer of the elderly, robots, who attack the elderly to consume their medications?
So, I mean, this doesn't really help anybody, but it sounds like it's one of those 2010s insane kind of late sketches where they just throw something against
Some
the wall.
of the absurdist stuff.
Yeah, so you're looking at
That's fine.
that
I mean,
era.
there's-
your guess is fine to lock
There
in
was
with.
some absurdist stuff in the mid-90s, too. The first SNL commercial that came to mind while Jason was reading the question was, does anybody remember Swill?
No.
Like it was like basically like bottom of the lake water bottled, and it was like really gross. And
Oh,
had,
they're
like,
selling that now to
had, like,
millennials.
dirt
just so
in
you
it.
know. That's a real product.
I feel like that
artisanal.
one. I feel like that one was Phil Hartman, but
Artisanal dirt water, yeah.
My argument against your guess is just that he's not all the way a dramatic actor. I think it would be a more straight dramatic actor, but I'm fine with the guess because I don't really have anything better.
Okay.
So for us, SNL is kind of a weak spot of mine, other than like the famous skits, and I'm not very good
Sketches.
on sketches. Thank you. I'm not very versed on the fake commercials. I don't know. Who do you want to go out of that list?
I'm good going De Niro.
All right, let's go. All right, we're gonna lock in with Robert De Niro.
Yeah. And see, I was thinking later in the 2010s, like Tina Fey, Seth Meyers era, and this person was on a lot, not necessarily hosting, but he would just be on. So I was thinking John Hamm. So
It could also be Patrick Stewart did an episode that was really funny. And
Oh,
he's-
that's possible. Yeah, that's a good one.
And the answer is?
It could be all those guys, but it is none of those guys. Think Law and Order, Sam Watterson.
bump bump.
Wow, that's a poll. I wouldn't even have thought of him at all. I was thinking of him as a TV guy, but
Well, yeah, if
good
you think
question.
about him in the context of like the TD Ameritrade commercials
Yeah.
that he's been known for about a decade, then yeah, you can kind of see the connection there for comedy purposes.
Good question.
So after round 1, it looks like we have 5 correct for 50 points.
We have 6 correct for 60 points.
oh, tight game.
Tight game.
Yeah, it's 50 to 60 more points than I expected when I read these questions. So nice job so far. You guys are batting over 500.
That is one of our strengths, is low expectations.
All right, so before we jump into the swing round, just want to kick it over to Matt really quick for a special announcement.
Yes, so we did a random drawing using a random number generator to get our 5 winners for the reviews.
It was all quite random.
It was the most random thing I've ever done. If your name is set, if you send us an email with the subject title "Winner Winner Chicken Dinner" or "Tofu Dinner," such as your prerogative.
For the vegetarians.
For all of our vegetarian listeners, just let us know if this is one of your reviews, and we will send that prize out. So the 5 winners are 3 Green Ducks, XZ Jackal Xavier, Bubba J. Elmo, or maybe Bub J. Elmo, either or. There's probably only one of those. Lucas Clausen, and La Platte a Frog.
We really enjoyed these names, by the way.
Yeah, we were worried that it was going to be like a lot of numbers and random generators, but these are all. I mean, Lucas Clausen. I mean, just way to go! Like, kudos to you just for kind of using your name
For having a name.
Yeah.
So again, send winner winner chicken dinner or winner winner tofu dinner to trivialitypodcast@gmail.com.
I mean, it could be a pseudonym still.
Yeah, you're right. It could be.
Let us know it's you and how we can contact you.
Yep, looking forward to sending those prizes out. Thank you for your reviews, and we're going to do another drawing at 75, maybe.
Maybe 100.
Maybe 100. We'll go 100.
Let's get 100.
Jeff, do you want to talk about those prizes a little bit? I know they're going to be somewhat randomized, but they're pretty good.
They are going to be somewhat randomized. So we've been working behind the scenes, getting some merchandise together. So you will be getting some of the first run of T-shirts, mugs, other Triviality merchandise collectibles, and we will be sending those out to the winners.
Should be a lot of fun, guys. So thanks again for reviewing, and let's get to 100 then, I guess, Matt, right?
Yeah, let's get to 100.
Cool.
So you 5 and the Triviality folk will be the first ones to have their hands on that merch.
All right, so gentlemen, this time around, the swing round is something I like to call the Liquid Kourage Decathlon.
Ooh.
Your mileage may vary on this. Let's find out. I'm about to list 10 different cocktails. For each one, I want you to list the ingredients for these drinks according to the International Bartenders Association, or IBA. I don't want you to worry about listing things like the glassware that's used, any garnishes, the type of ice, etc. And you don't have to worry about quantities or preparation steps like layering or shaking. I just want the ingredients that make up the cocktail itself. Now, you will earn 5 points for every correct ingredient you name. I'll give you 3 points if you give me a partially correct ingredient name, and that is at my discretion as the judge. But for every incorrect ingredient you list, you will lose 3 points.
Okay.
I was like, if there wasn't the loss, that would be the whole game. Would be how many cocktails can Matt identify correctly?
In addition, I'll give you 5 bonus points for every cocktail that you can identify with 100% accuracy.
We cannot go negative in this, right? Just 0 would be the bottom, I would hope.
It's a swing round,
Okay,
Matt.
fair enough.
If you name a bunch
swing.
of wrong ingredients.
Just to clarify, after hearing all of those numbers, I had a panic attack, so hopefully you can score this, Jason.
Is not answering an option?
Yeah, you'll lose nothing.
Okay.
You'll gain nothing ventured.
Gained,
Yeah.
nothing, yeah.
That's good to know then.
Are you guys ready for the list?
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
All right, number 1, daiquiri. Number 2, old fashioned. Number 3, Bloody Mary. Number 4, Cosmopolitan. Number 5, Long Island iced tea. Number 6, Margarita. Number 7, Moscow Mule. Number 8, Sex on the Beach. Number 9, Tequila Sunrise. And number 10, Kamikaze.
So, me and Matt are going to play it a little bit safe on this one and just kind of write what we know pretty much for sure and leave some of the extra ingredients out. How did you guys fare on this?
We had a similar strategy because we didn't know a lot of the ingredients. We knew some for sure, and we took like 1 or 2 guesses, but we're playing it safe too. But I think there's a few wild cards on there that we might get penalized for, but we'll see.
Despite my love of binge drinking, mixed drinks aren't necessarily my forte. So,
All right, let's find out what you guys had for number 1, daiquiri.
I really don't know, so we just said rum.
Okay.
We also have rum.
And that's it for both of you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Playing
All right.
that one safe.
All right, you both earned 3 points because the official recipe is white rum,
Okay.
along with simple syrup and lime juice.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, that's your core on the rocks daiquiri, no fruit flavoring other than the lime.
I didn't know that.
All right, number 2 was an old fashioned.
So we had a kind of a discussion with this one. We knew it was a brown liquid and that there's like an orange peel, I think, but we didn't know the exact ingredients. But we took a guess with one of them. So Jeff.
So we did brandy and simple syrup.
Okay. We played this one pretty safe. I know there's a lot of ingredients in this. For example, whiskey, a mulled cherry, malt sugar, probably soda, bitters, orange peel. But we ended up just going with whiskey, the sugar, and the bitters.
All right, so unfortunately, Jeff and Neal, you have lost 6 points on that. What were your 2 options again? Please restate.
Brandy, simple syrup.
Neither brandy nor simple syrup appear in the recipe for an old fashioned. Ken and Matt, you guys ended up with 11 points.
Wow.
The official recipe is bourbon or rye whiskey, so I gave you a partial match for whiskey. Angostura bitters definitely are in there, so I gave you the full 5 points on that. And you said sugar. Specifically,
malt sugar. Yeah.
Specifically, it is a sugar cube.
Yeah.
Oh.
Along with water. So 11 points. Nice job, guys.
Thank you.
Number 3, Bloody Mary.
We just went with the 2 that we are, and even I'm not sure because I've seen them made with rum, but we went with tomato juice and vodka.
So on the strength of my recollection from Cowboy Bebop, we went vodka and tomato juice.
All right, that's 10 points for both of you then. Bloody Marys are primarily vodka and tomato juice.
Salt.
But because Bloody Marys are Bloody Marys, you have to throw in officially some lemon juice, Worcestershire sauce, Tabasco, celery salt, and pepper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew all those ingredients, but wasn't sure how specific to go.
Yeah,
with
none of
this.
which are part of the garnish, which can be
Pickle,
basically
celery,
anything.
bacon.
Yeah,
I thought Tabasco was one. I just wasn't sure.
White Castle sliders, whatever you want to put.
Yeah,
on.
right.
I've seen it all. I've seen a fried chicken.
Turkey dinner.
Winner turkey dinner right there. Number 4, Cosmopolitan.
So we couldn't really recollect our fandom for Carrie Bradshaw on Sex and the City.
I've never seen it.
I've seen all of them actually, but I couldn't remember what's in a Cosmopolitan. So we just put one guess, or maybe I don't know what was it.
We put vodka.
Vodka. Okay.
Yeah, I think this is wrong. I think it's actually triple sec vodka and a lemon wedge. Now that I think about it, but it's actually we wrote down cranberry juice and vodka.
I think we're right.
All right, well, you both get 3 points for the vodka because officially it is Citron vodka in a Cosmopolitan, and 5 additional points to Ken and Matt for the cranberry juice. In addition, I would have given you credit for triple sec. It is officially Cointreau, which is a brand name for triple sec, and lime juice completes the recipe. So Citron vodka, Cointreau, cranberry juice, and lime juice.
My time working at a bar has paid off for this non-drinker.
There you go. Number 5 was a Long Island iced tea. What did you guys have?
There's so much in it that all that I know for sure is that they spray that little bit of cola at the end, so we just put soda.
Oh, that's a good guess, actually. Yeah, we knew that there was like a million liquors in here. We couldn't bring it down to which ones were actually in it. So
we guessed vodka, rum, and whiskey.
All right, so ultimately, Ken and Matt, you ended up with 3 points because you said soda. Cola is an ingredient, which is a partial match. As for Jeff and Neal, you earn 5 points for the vodka, but you lose 3 points for the whiskey, which isn't part of the recipe. And I gave you 3 points for your rum, which is, again, white rum in this case. Full recipe, according to the IBA, is gin, tequila, vodka, white rum, triple sec, gourmet syrup, lemon juice, and cola.
And again, that's one of those ones that they make it different at every place, so we couldn't specify which.
A lot of places ended
so
up just using a mix for convenience sake.
And the end result is always bad decisions.
yeah, that was me at University of Iowa, the Long Islands.
All right, number 6. What was the recipe for a margarita, gentlemen?
Well, we went with tequila and triple sec.
We only knew tequila.
All right, we both get 5 points for the tequila. I will give you 5 points for triple sec. It is specifically Cointreau. But again, most triple secs are either well or Cointreau, so I'll give you that. Neither of you mentioned the lime juice, which would have been in the complete recipe. Yeah. Number 7, a Moscow Mule.
So I knew this one. I know people that get this every week, and I know for sure one of them I believe is ginger beer. So we put that. We couldn't remember what the alcohol was. I feel like it's a clear liquid. So we put ginger beer, right? That's it?
Yep, that's it.
So I was pretty sure about the full recipe on this one, but we stopped it a little short. So this is not the answer, but it's vodka, ginger beer, a squeeze of lime, and I think some places do bitters in a copper mug. But we're just going to go with ginger beer and vodka.
All right, so that's 10 points for you guys, Ken and Matt, 5 points for Jeff and Neal for the ginger beer. What was it called? A Moscow Mule?
Yep.
What would the liquor be in that?
Something Russian pop.
It'd be vodka, yeah. If you had said the lime juice, you would have had the perfect recipe because that's the third and final ingredient.
The copper mug is actually the fourth ingredient. That's the most important thing.
Well, yeah, but we specified no glassware needed to be stated.
We served ours not in a copper mug at this one restaurant I worked at, and people were not happy.
That's not a Moscow Mule otherwise. Number 8 was a sex on the beach.
Well, the ingredient is usually two consensual adults, but what did we put?
And ashore.
You're limiting it to 2? All right, fair enough.
Oh, that's 2 Ken on a beach references today. I don't know if I can deal with that.
He's not involved in this.
I don't know. What did we put, Jeff?
I don't actually. I didn't know.
I think we played it safe. We're not going to answer.
We're just gonna blank. Not what happens with a real sex on the beach.
Yeah. The only thing I could think that was in it was peach schnapps, so we said peach schnapps.
All right, so obviously nothing for Jeff and Neal, but 5 points for Ken and Matt because peach schnapps, along with vodka, cranberry juice, and orange juice, make up a sex on the beach. Number 9 was a tequila sunrise, and boy, I hope you guys at least got 5 points on this.
I'm assuming we got the tequila.
Yeah.
And we said orange juice.
Mm-hmm. Those would be the first 2 ingredients, but to give it that sunrise color, I believe you add grenadine.
So
tequila, orange juice, and grenadine.
Orange juice and grenadine. And we have a perfect recipe finally. Congratulations to you guys, Ken and Matt. It is indeed tequila,
that's a bummer.
Orange juice, and grenadine.
Because I know we discussed grenadine.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. That's okay.
All right, and your 10th and final recipe was a kamikaze.
Did you guys write anything?
We wrote whatever the liquor. What did we put? Vodka, and then triple sec. That's all we put.
I had no idea.
We just wanted to play it. We felt we did pretty good on the round, so we just played it safe and did not answer this.
And for the record, I told Jeff we should answer triple sec for one of these, and since it was the last number, I said let's just put triple sec.
You didn't pick a Japanese liqueur?
No, we were thinking about it, but I don't
think it is a Japanese liqueur.
Jeff was pretty strong on vodka,
right.
so
what is it?
No Midori in a kamikaze. That sounds like that would be terrible, frankly. Kamikaze recipe is vodka, triple sec, and lime juice.
Good job.
So 10 total points for Jeff and Neal. Nothing, of course, for Ken and Matt.
So before the scores are read again, I just wanted to recap 5 points for an exact match to the ingredient for our at-home players, 3 for a near match, -3 for an incorrect ingredient, and +5 for a total correct beverage.
Yeah. So we had 20 on that number 9, which was...
that's why. Okay.
Yeah, that was a game changer right there for sure. So with the swing round, Ken and Matt, you earned 80 total points. Jeff and Neal, you earned 45.
Okay. I mean, it's respectable for Jeff and I who don't drink, so.
Right.
Yeah, not too bad, all things considered.
And before we move on to round 2, just thank you once again to all our listeners for getting us to 52 for a full year. So thank you so much again.
Yeah, I honestly cannot believe it's been a year.
It's gone by so fast. I know when we started it, we were like, oh, Jeff, I didn't even think Jeff was like, oh, we're going to last maybe, 6 months, see how it goes. It'll be fun.
Pessimistic Jeff over here.
Right.
No, most podcasts don't. I had no expectations, but I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it is. So I'm very pleased.
It's been really fun.
And can I just say, personally, surprisingly successful and fulfilling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I mean, it wasn't just like a hobby. I think it's maybe started out that way or something we want to do for fun, but getting our listeners a nice network of fans and people to interact with has been pretty great, especially with Patreon too. I mean, just the fact that people are helping support us.
Yeah,
we owe it all to you guys.
I mean, that and the people we've met so far, it's been really rewarding.
The trivia community is amazing, so we're just happy to be a part of it.
Very amazing.
Thank you guys for turning this kind of rough idea into a full-fledged podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and can I just say, as a guest host who's appeared a couple times, the knockdown, drag-out fistfights between questions between you guys are definitely a lot tamer this time around. So
we do a good job of editing those out.
I do want to congratulate you on a limited number of bloody noses this week.
Well, and thank you to Jason too for basically, kind of helping form our team, because we play with you every week, and then you kind of inspired us to start the podcast, and now thankfully you advertise it for us every week. So thank you for that.
Hey, you guys, it's been a lot of fun for me to watch you guys kind of grow and develop and listen over the last year or so.
And get more booze at Monday night.
Oh, yeah.
Now people hate us, so.
Oh, you meant audible booze. Okay.
Audible booze, yeah.
I get the booze on Monday night.
That's true.
So after the swing round, we are up 130 to 105.
Ooh,
that's
high scores.
This is great.
It's looking good. You guys ready for round 2?
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
I am.
All right, let's jump right in with question 1. This time around, it's fittingly a music question from Lee to George, of course, the host of the Something Something Birds podcast.
never.
And Lee asks, the 80s bands Falco and After the Fire warned you not to turn around because who is in town?
Yeah, that's what I was going to sing.
Yeah, that's the song.
Yeah, I think it's Don't Turn Around. Uh-oh, but Bubba is in town. Uh-oh.
Star Fox is in town.
Oh,
Yeah, something is in town.
What's Falco?
It's Captain Falco.
nice.
It's like a title. It's like a
Swayze's
like
back
officer
in town?
or
Yeah. Roadhouse.
or mayor. It's like it's a title, I think. Like a municipal.
Could be.
I don't know.
Tom.
Tom is back in town.
Amadeus.
The guy from MySpace.
Yeah. MySpace Tom is back.
Oh, so it has to be one syllable, right? Tom is back in
It
town.
doesn't have to be. I just said a thing.
I like how Tom is probably the richest guy who gets
Yeah.
guffed for being like a failure.
Right.
Right.
He's a billionaire.
$4.3 billion to Fox, who
Is he
had
really?
no idea what to do with MySpace.
Wow.
Is it still a music site? Kind
No.
of, or no? Not
He's the
anymore?
most
He has
suc-
nothing to do with it. He sold the whole thing.
He's the most successful, one of the most successful guys on the planet, and people are like, "Oh, Tom, what a pushover! This MySpace failed."
He's not the one who has to testify
after
in
10
front
years of
Congress.
success.
He's
To be
doing
fair, though,
okay.
like Zuckerberg almost made as much in one day as Tom's worth total. So
It's
So
pretty
what?
fun. It's funny
Once
though
you get
that-
up there, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Do you think Tom cares though that every news story they always just show that one picture of him like looking over his shoulder
Like, you would have thought he would have changed that at some point.
from
It's
like 1999?
I'm
You know
not
what?
using my
Tom
same
can do
profile
whatever he
picture.
wants. I'm sure Tom's sitting pretty.
So you're saying MySpace Tom is back in town?
I mean, I'll default to you on that. Like I said, the only thing I know about Falco is the song "Rock Me Amadeus,"
And all,
'cause
the
that
only
was
thing
their
I
big
know
one.
about Falco is Edie Falco from Nurse Jackie and Sopranos. So let's just go. We're gonna lock in. We have
With
something.
Nurse Jackie?
Yeah. No, with Mayor. We're gonna lock in with
There's
Mayor.
Jackie's back in town.
Yeah, Mayor.
Mayor. Okay, we're going with Dalton's back in town.
All right. I honestly thought you guys had this really early in when you were talking about municipal leaders, but it's Der Kommissar.
That would make
So
sense.
close. One last word on Tom from MySpace. I think he's looking back over his shoulder at $4 billion, just a pile of
Der
money.
Kommissar is a Falco song, right? Is that the title of a Falco song?
Yeah, it's a Falco song that was made popular with a remake by After the Fire. All right, guys, question 2, and this one comes from Donald Fuller out in New Hampshire. Donald asks, the Old Man of the Mountain was a famous rock formation in New Hampshire and appears on the New Hampshire State Quarter. In what year did the Old Man fall?
So the Old Man of the Mountain, the New Hampshire state coin came out in 99.
Okay.
It was one of the first 5 states, and that was when they started the 50 state quarter series.
Okay.
And it was still in existence in 99.
Okay.
I believe
So it's recent.
it was a recent thing. Yeah. I
Okay.
want to say I was in high school at the time, so somewhere between like 2004 2006. It
Last
was-
week. So yeah, just go with your gut. I mean,
the first thing that came to mind was 2006. I don't know if that's right.
because we know
but
when you were in high school, all you were doing was telling everyone, "Did you guys hear about the old man in the mountain?"
probably, yeah.
I don't know why you sounded like.
That sounds a lot like me.
It sounds like you as a drug dealer. Hey, do you guys want to hear about the old man in the mountain?
I got a story to sell you.
So your answer is?
2006.
Okay. I had similar thinking that it was a recent event, but I thought it was actually fairly recent, and I went with 2014.
Ooh.
I think it's pretty recent.
2014 is pretty recent, but the Old Man in the Mountain fell in 2003.
Ooh, that would have been.
I
my
was in high
senior
school.
year.
I was
Not
also
too
high
far
school.
off.
I was in
Jeff.
high school.
All right, we move on to question 3, and this is another one from listener Maddie Chandler. Maddie asks, what do the following 4 songs have in common? The songs are Invisible Touch by Genesis, Sing by the Carpenters, I'm a Believer by the Monkees, and Sister Christian by Night Ranger.
That's a good guess.
Jerry Maguire. Let's say they were all in Jerry Maguire.
Sure.
Okay.
I wonder if Ken was onto something. We're already locked in, but I think Almost Famous, they have Night Ranger when they're on the plane, maybe? I don't remember. But we just said either it was in Shrek or if you want to be less specific, the Shrek franchise.
Don't think it's Almost Famous.
I don't
Okay,
know.
so you both ultimately thought they were all songs featured on the same soundtrack?
Yeah.
This question had less to do with the songs and more to do with
Producer?
the singers. These are 4 examples of songs that feature drummers as lead vocalists.
I was going to make a joke about Phil Collins coming from the back Because and then I was like, no, the other 4 aren't somebody took over.
I didn't realize that the drummer sang "I'm a Believer," unless he was just one of the singers.
If there was an Under Oath reference, I would have got it. That's for me only.
Is the drummer the clean singer?
The clean singer.
And the front man is a screamer?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
For all you listeners out there
who like Under Oath.
Yeah.
It's a big slice of the Venn diagram.
Sure.
Isn't Under Oath that apparel that I wear when I go lift weights?
Yeah, that's Under Armour.
Oh, okay.
I thought Under Oath was that retro video game my kid plays.
Undertale?
Ah, yeah.
Overwatch.
All right, go ahead.
All right, guys, question 4, and this one comes from Josh Martin in Springfield, Missouri. Josh wants to know, astronauts first left Earth's orbit and traveled to the moon on what Apollo mission?
Right.
And don't say Neil Armstrong's mission.
Reluctant.
Okay. I'll just trust Jeff.
So meaning they entered...
I'm about 90% sure.
Yeah, can you
or they orbited the moon? Not implying
sure,
that
I'll
they
give
touched down.
Yeah, I'll rephrase. Astronauts first left Earth's orbit and traveled to the moon on what Apollo mission? Okay, this does not necessarily mean
they got there.
They stood on the surface.
Okay, so they went to the moon, but they didn't necessarily land.
Okay, so 11 was Neil Armstrong's mission where they landed. Mm-hmm. Do you want to go 2 back and say 9?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's in that 7 to
9 range.
Yeah, let's say 7. I think that
7.
Yeah,
it's kind of early. You good with that?
Yeah.
All right, 7.
Sure, Apollo
7.
I always wanted to outdo you by 1. Anyways, we went Apollo 8.
Good call, because it is Apollo 8. Yeah.
So we should have put our minds together.
That one I knew.
Yeah. Apollo 10 was the dress rehearsal for Apollo 11. They orbited the moon and went down to about 10 miles above the moon's surface. Apollo 9 was the first test of the lunar lander in orbit. They never left Earth's orbit. And Apollo 8 was the first mission that actually went to the moon itself.
Correct.
Interesting.
Yep. And by the way, guys, Josh wants your listeners to follow him on Twitter at Pub Trivia Facts, which sounds like a pretty good way to practice for our live trivia.
I think we follow them. They're,
Pub Trivia Facts. I believe we do.
Yeah, he's they're
up
there.
And if we don't, we will.
All right, question 5. This one comes from Asha Yusuf. And Asha asks, what Chicago landmark is often credited with the invention of the brownie?
We are locked in.
Are you thinking Montgomery Ward? Is that what you're thinking?
Are we locked in?
You can unlock. We're not. I don't know.
We're locked in.
You're locked in. So Marshall Field used to be, or I guess kind of is still famous around here for the Frango mints.
I mean, even though Macy's took over, they still have that famous clock.
Right. So that's a famous Chicago landmark. I mean, there's the Water Tower, but that's just like a mall now. Water Tower Place. I can't think. I was trying to think if
any of the big skyscrapers seem unlikely.
Right. And I don't think it's going to be our famous Garrett's Popcorn. I don't feel like they would have a random brownie on their list. So, and it's not Portillo's or anything. So, or it could be. I don't know.
Delicious chocolate cake.
Yeah, true. Chocolate cake's great.
They're going nationwide now.
Do you just want to go with Marshall Fields is really the only Chicago-centric thing I can think of. And they do have sweets.
That may have sweets. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay. All right. We're locked in with Marshall Fields.
We were thinking more along the lines of a candy producer, chocolates and that thing. So we went with Fannie Mae.
Ooh.
Pretty good guesses from both of you, but the answer is the Palmer House.
Oh, the Palmer House. I stayed there once.
Did you get the brownie?
I did not. I didn't know they had a brownie.
All right, question 6. This is another one from Maddie Chandler, and Maddie asks, if one of your British friends asks if you can lend them a biro, what are they asking to borrow?
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you, Jeff. I think we should go with that. I'm pretty sure it's right.
Yep.
Can you borrow a feling? Is all I can think of right now. And,
what about a condom?
Yeah.
Hey mate, you got a condom?
Don't do it.
I don't know if you would borrow that. Are you giving it back when you're done?
No. But you know how people say, "Hey, can I borrow something?" And then they just use it.
You're right, though.
Can I bum a condom? That doesn't happen.
All right, let's go with the cigarette.
Sure.
Okay.
That's not the British idiom I know for it.
All right. So, famously, one of the common ones, if it's often sold this way, is Bic. Makes a Bic biro. And Ken often yells at me for clicking them in the studio. That would be a pen.
And just to add, I think the guy who invented it was Laszlo Biro or Bureau. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
like
no,
one
you're
of the first ballpoint pens, I think. Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Named after Laszlo Biro, who patented the first commercially successful modern ballpoint pen.
I was going to write a question about that like 2 months ago.
Pen Shinfo. Little shout out here to the Pen Addict. If any of you are giant pen fans.
What is that? What is that? What? Is that like a channel?
So it's a podcast. Mike Hurley from Relay FM hosts a show where all he talks about is how much he loves pens.
What a niche.
Wow.
So one of his other shows, he plugged that show and he mentions he likes pens, big pens. Yeah.
I'm gonna make a competing show called Pen 15.
You'd be a real Pen 15 for doing it.
All right, go ahead.
All right, guys, we've got question 7, more from Lee DeGeorge, host of the Something Something Birds podcast.
Oh, he has a podcast?
Yeah, apparently.
A lot of free promotion.
It has something to do with birds, from what I gather.
It's quite good and very short, which is really nice.
All right, and Lee asks, what chocolate company is responsible for the earthly delights of Rocher, Nutella, and Kinder eggs?
So let's lock in your answer because I have nothing else and I'm not going to pull it. So on my end.
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to look at the Kinder packaging.
So it's not like an American company, right?
No. Kinder chocolate.
Oh, God. Any excuse for Dutch Boy.
I want a prize, please. I want a prize.
Dutch Boy paints.
Dutch Boy may have to be buried after this episode.
Dutch Boy's getting his own belt. Be on the lookout.
Hey, you know what? If one guy can start a podcast about pens, I'm going to do a podcast all in the Dutch Boy voice.
You're allowed to have a podcast with no listeners.
And it's going to be about pens. Ballpoint.
How about like Alex Jones rants, but in Dutch Boy voice?
I could do that. That'd be funny. Takes these vitamins, please.
I would Patreon that podcast.
They are supplements.
All right. So
are you locked in with
Nestle?
something?
We're locked in.
I don't think it's Nestle.
I was thinking Cadbury. You want to just go Nestle? I don't know.
All right, Nestle.
Nestle.
It's not right.
All right.
I believe it's Ferrero Rochers, so we went Ferrero.
It is indeed Ferrero Rocher. Ferrero's behind Nutella and Kinder Eggs as well. All right, question 8, and this comes from listener Danielle Fields, who asks, what 2 musicians were given the satisfaction of a songwriting credit on the song Bittersweet Symphony by The Verve as the result of a plagiarism charge?
You know that one?
I think I get the clue.
It's a bittersweet.
It's got to be these 2. We're gonna lock in because I feel like that clue. I think I'm going off the clue.
Okay.
So there's a big.
I mean, you're close if you're right.
There's a big satisfaction. He said they got satisfaction.
Yeah, no, it's
so it's got to be the Rolling Stones. What Rolling Stones song is that a ripoff of?
It's it doesn't matter which one.
So we're going Keith Richards and Mick Jagger.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
We also went with the same based off the clue.
In any event, you guys are right. It is Mick Jagger and Keith Richards.
All right.
And the reason for that is the song's hook samples an orchestral cover of the Rolling Stones tune The Last Time. All right, question 9. This is another one from Richard Flagel. Richard asks, most people know about the Christian Crusades to retake the Holy Land. Not counting the People's Crusade or the Children's Crusade, how many total official crusades were there?
Just pick a number between 1 and 10.
Well, let me use the random generator.
No.
But I want to use the random generator.
I don't know, Jeff. You're just gonna have to pick a random number.
It's weird. I'm also
T.
I'm also thinking it's a number between 1 and 10. This is what my gut tells me.
That's my lucky number. Let's go with that.
Good deal. It's also a Chinese lucky number.
We're going lucky number 7.
Lucky number 11. Kansas City Shuffle.
That's right. We went Chinese lucky number 4.
So lucky number 7, lucky number 4. You wanted a cat's lucky number 9.
Ooh.
9 crusades officially, plus the People's Crusade and the Children's Crusade for 11.
It's a lot of crusades.
For the record, the random number generator was correct. So I'm just throwing that out there.
Ken, you've been hoisted on your own petard there. All right, and question 10, the last one in round 2, comes from Maddie Chandler one more time, and she asks, based on the painting A Sunday Afternoon on the Island of La Grande Jetée, what is the name of the 1984 musical written by Stephen Sondheim and James Lapin that is a fictionalized account of both the creation of the painting and the life of its French creator? And for 5 bonus points, name the well-known Hollywood actor who originated the role of the main character on Broadway in 1984.
What do you guys have against sports? That's all I want to know.
I will say Jake Gyllenhaal just did a run on Broadway, but that is not the question.
From 1984.
Yeah, from 1984. I probably
when he was 2 years old.
He was like 2. Yeah. I have the musical, no problem.
Okay. You're just stretching for the bonus points now.
Yeah. What's getting me off track is Barefoot in the Park had Robert Redford in it, which was not the answer to this question. And Jerry Orbach from Law and Order.
Bump, bump.
Yeah, he's a great actor on TV, but he was a big Broadway star. He did like How to Succeed in Business and stuff, and originated a bunch of casts on Broadway. So I was thinking them, but if it was 84, it's probably someone else. But we're gonna lock in 100% with the
and they're
musical
still waiting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
With the musical title. So we're in with the musical title.
Okay. So I asked a Sondheim question before, and I was like, oh, what else did he do? And I kind of like read through. I'm not sure I can even get the answer, the like title of this correct, but there was one called like Something Happened on the Way to the Forum or something like that. So I think that's what we should go with.
Sure.
I don't know otherwise.
Yeah, and then for actor, do you have any?
I have no idea.
Yeah. Who?
Johnny Depp.
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum.
Okay. So the musical is Sunday in the Park with George. And I'm just going to guess he's more of a Broadway star than actor, even though he's on Homeland. We're just going to say Mandy Patinkin.
Oh, that's a good guess there.
You hit the bonus, Neil. Nicely done.
Is that it?
Sunday in the Park with George, premiering Mandy Patinkin, George Surratt.
Isn't Mandy Patinkin the name of that old Russian film?
Battleship Mandy Patinkin. No, the only reason I thought Mandy Patinkin, because he said big star, and I was like, it wouldn't be him because he's only, he's on Homeland, and he was in
Criminal Minds.
Princess Bride, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad I pulled that one. Okay.
Hello, my name is George Surratt.
That round was bad for us.
We got 10 points.
We got 55.
Oh wow!
So we are now
in that round. You got 55 points.
Yeah.
You're kidding.
After the second round, we are now trailing 160 to 140.
I think we deserved that after that round.
Well, we were winning so bad we wanted to take a round off and let you guys catch up.
So Jason, you told us you had a special final round planned.
Today's final round is an all audio submitted listener question round. All 5 of these questions were recorded and sent to you guys. So we'll be playing the audio throughout the course of the round.
Okay.
I'm led to believe that there are some overflow questions as well, so I'm sorry if you didn't make it onto this episode, but we will be definitely using those in future episodes and crediting you for that.
Yeah. Well, let's get to this audio round. We're excited.
All right, you guys ready for the categories?
Let's do it.
The questions did not have categories to them, so I came up with what I thought were hopefully clever ones.
Okay.
So the final round categories are Sweet Carolina, a thorny language question, Wild Wild Western literature, a question about nothing, and kids play the darndest things.
Both teams are in with the wagers, so let's go ahead and hear those audio questions.
All right, guys. Question 1, the category was Sweet Carolina, and I'm going to hand it over to Sam from Watauga, Texas for this question.
Though South Carolina is currently known as the Palmetto State, in the 1930s it was known by another name, thanks to a PR campaign by the South Carolina Natural Resources Commission to promote high amounts of this 53rd element in crops from the region.
All right, question 2, the category was a thorny language question, so I'm going to throw it over to Jonathan from Boston, Massachusetts for this one.
My name is Jonathan from Boston, Massachusetts, and my question is, with fewer than 400,000 native speakers worldwide, what is the only modern language whose alphabet includes thorn, a runic letter that has survived directly from Old Norse?
Right, question 3 category was Wild Wild Western literature, so I'm going to hand it off to Aaron from Richmond, Virginia for this one.
Oscar Wilde famously said, "I can resist anything except what?"
Right, for question 4, category is a question about nothing. This one was sent in by Tom and Jill from the Trivia Hot Dish podcast, so I'll let them take it away.
We're Tom
and Jill
from the Trivia Hot Dish podcast, and here is our question.
In an episode of Seinfeld, George Costanza develops an obsession with this actress after being told he's apparently just her type.
Hint, she's not the original Mona Lisa, but she plays one on the big screen.
All right, and question 5, in Kids Play the Darndest Things, came to us from Brent Bollmeyer from Marissa, Illinois. So here's Brent to ask.
Saying that a large one can transport a child to a world of his or her own where anything is possible. The National Toy Hall of Fame inducted what item in 2005?
All right, and the gentlemen are locked in, so we'll throw it to question 1. Sweet Carolina. Ken and Matt, you wagered nothing. Jeff and Neal, you put 10 points down on this. What did you guys think?
We just kind of phoned it in because we didn't have anything writing on it and
Correct.
went iron.
Okay.
I think iron's 26, if I'm not mistaken. But I thought this was going to be a geography question. Turns out it was science, so hopefully I got it right. I said iodine.
The answer is iodine. South Carolina was known as the iodine state in the 30s. The commission was hoping to expand the national market for South Carolina products by promoting their high iodine content, but actually saw little benefit from the campaign, especially after in the 1940s the arrival of iodized salt essentially removed the demand for high iodine content foods. Love the show. Keep up the good work. Congratulations on the 50th episode.
All right, number 2, a thorny language question. Ken and Matt wagered 10 points on this one. Jeff and Neal wagered nothing. So we'll start with Jeff and Neal.
With nothing on there, I think we just went Icelandic because of Bjorn.
Mm-hmm.
We also went Icelandic, considering the size of the country and the region.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about 400,000. That would be Icelandic, yeah.
So, Jonathan, what language was it?
And the correct answer is Icelandic. Thanks, guys.
Neal and Jeff, unfortunately, didn't wager anything, but would have had up to 30 if they had. Number 3, wild, wild Western literature. Ken and Matt, you have 10 points on the board. Jeff and Neal for 5.
This is not the question we were expecting.
Nope.
But we went with women.
Yeah, so along Ken's lines, I was thinking maybe it was something to do with like sexuality or something, because Oscar Wilde's plays and literature are always about like love and everything like that. But we ended up, just because he's a writer, we went with applause.
All right, and Aaron, what's the answer?
And that answer is temptation. Thanks so much for everything you guys do. I love the podcast, and y'all are fantastic, and look forward to talking to you all soon.
Aaron, you're absolutely right. Oscar Wilde, known for his witticism in his quotes, I can resist anything except temptation.
Oh, that's right.
So no points earned. Ken and Matt, you lost 10. Jeff and Neal only lost 5. Number 4, a question about nothing. Ken and Matt put 20 points on this one, and Jeff and Neal only put 10. So what do you guys say?
So Ken kind of tipped his hat a little bit because I was trying to think of who was on the show that was a celebrity, and then I realized there was someone, and Ken sometimes, not all the time, but he's talked about this one movie that's a courtroom drama, and I remember that the woman who won the Oscar, her name, which I didn't realize was the trick, is Mona Lisa Vito, and that would be Marissa Tomei.
Yeah, she had a thing for short, fat, bald men.
Short, stocky bald.
Stocky. That. Excuse me, Mr. Costanza. You're right. Stocky. We said Marissa Tomei.
And the answer is
Marissa Tomei.
All right, nice job, guys. 20 points for Ken and Matt. Jeff and Neal, you got 10 points. It was indeed Marissa Tomei.
Thanks to the Trivia Hot Dish podcast for that.
Mm-hmm.
Our 5th and final question, kids play the darndest things. Ken and Matt put a 10 spot on this one. Jeff and Neal for 5.
Jason, credit to Jason. I think we recently had a top 50 list for toys that have been in the Kids Hall of Fame, or whatever it is. I can't remember that name.
Yeah, every toy inducted into the National Toy Hall of Fame.
National Toy Hall of Fame. Yep. And Neal and I pretty quickly settled on box.
We argued about this one for a while, trying to get to what it was. We had imagination, but that's too abstract. And
It's
then
not an item.
Yeah, then book. It's like a large book. But then it just kind of hit me, and I thought, what about a box? And we said box.
All right, box from both of our teams in the studio. Brent, what's the answer?
The answer, a child is transported to a world of his or her own, one where anything is possible when inside a large cardboard box. The answer is cardboard box.
So nice job, Ken and Matt. 10 points, Richard.
What did we lose by?
10. Yeah.
No.
All right, so Ken and Matt, nice job. 10 points for you. Jeff and Neal, only 5 points. And that leaves us where on the scoreboard?
I believe Ken and Matt had 170, and Neal and I had 180.
Ooh.
That was the sound of the mic dropping.
That was actually a sound of a pen, which you can hear on the pen podcast that Jeff listens to.
For our listeners overseas, that was a biro.
Yes.
A biro, yeah.
The biro drop.
Well, thank you so much, Jason, for stepping in today, fielding all these questions, putting them together, and presenting them to us.
Yeah,
Absolutely. It was my pleasure. Thank you for having me again.
And after a year of doing these, it still hurts when we find out that Neal and Jeff are today's cream of the crop.
Unjustifiably in a position that I'd rather not be in, but the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
And Jason, where can people find you?
You can find me online at facebook.com/Liquid Kourage. That's liquid and then courage with the letter K. And you can find me all throughout the Chicagoland area, hosting regular pub trivia nights, largely in the Brookfield and Western Suburbs area. And you can find me in a couple hours from now demoing our first ever collaborative live trivia effort. That's between Liquid Kourage Entertainment and, of course, the Triviality podcast. A new format called Tringo, which is a theme-based 60-question competitive team trivia event featuring bingo rules. If you're ever in the Chicagoland area, or if we ever take this on the road, we'd love to see you guys.
Yeah, if you like bingo and trivia and us, possibly, like, this could be something that you'd be interested in.
Seeing one of us.
Mostly come for the other stuff. You don't necessarily care
Jason's
about us.
Jason's a great host. It'll be a lot of fun. And speaking of a funny story, because this is 1 year old now, when Jason was on the first time, I don't know if you guys remember, but I could not say courage. I kept saying Liquid Kourage because of the K. I kept looking at the K and I was like, Liquid Kourage.
Courage.
I personally hate it when I'm making breakfast in the morning. I put a little too much milk, and it's liquid porridge.
That's like at the end of Raiders Lost Ark when the Ark is put into deep storage. Oh, God. Anyway, Jeff, why don't you take us out?
That was Triviality. No. That's our last episode ever. No.
Triviality has been canceled.
After terrible jokes. So thank you so much to all of you who contributed to the show directly by putting in questions, recording your own. This was a really fun game. It was really nice to have Jason back in the studio. And if you would like to reach out to us, best way always, trivialitypodcast.com, our website, where you'll find links to basically everything that we do, including Patreon. So if you'd like to support us, please go to our website or patreon.com/trivialitypodcast. Where you can get special bonuses and perks and
bonus episodes, stickers, possibly shirts, maybe.
And maybe you just want to claim a belt. Thank you again to those of you who already support us. 1 year in, that was Triviality.
My straw reaches across the room and starts to drink your milkshake. I drink your milkshake. I drink it up.
Don't bully me, Daniel.